The following video is for educational purposes only, based on publicly available information. It is not legal advice, and all opinions expressed are our own. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to Employment Case Files by Denidel. Every week, we dive into intriguing employment-related cases that have been decided in courts, breaking down the key legal principles and their real-world implications. Introduction. We will be reviewing the case of Bill Robert Ngabo versus Bliss GVS Healthcare Limited, Cause 1236 of 2018, where a medical doctor claimed he was constructively dismissed after his transfer to a remote clinic. Let's explore the key aspects of this case and uncover what HR professionals and organizations can learn to avoid such issues. In this case, we will see how a transfer, disciplinary actions, and communication breakdowns led to a legal dispute. Was the employee wrongfully dismissed, or did he desert his duties? Stay tuned for the full story and key insights. The storyline. The claimant, Bill Robert Ngabo, was employed as a medical doctor by Bliss GVS Healthcare in June 2016. His job performance was satisfactory until disciplinary issues arose later. Ngabo was involved in a series of disciplinary incidents, including failing to wear proper attire and neglecting his duties. He was issued warning letters and show cause notices by the employer. In April 2018, Ngabo was transferred to the respondent's clinic in Garissa. Ngabo appealed against the transfer, citing his ongoing studies at the University of Nairobi, but received no response from the employer. Ngabo failed to report to the Garissa clinic as instructed. As a result, Bliss GVS Healthcare stopped paying his salary starting May 2018, which Ngabo claimed amounted to constructive dismissal. The respondent, Bliss GVS Healthcare, scheduled a disciplinary hearing for July 6, 2018, but Ngabo did not attend. Shortly after, he took legal action against his employer, claiming constructive dismissal and seeking compensation. The case was heard by the Employment and Labor Relations Court, where both the claimant and the respondent presented their evidence. The key issues were whether Ngabo had been constructively dismissed and whether he was entitled to compensation. The claimant started working for Bliss GVS Healthcare in June 2016. In April 2018, Ngabo was transferred to the respondent's clinic in Garissa, a remote region, without receiving a response to his appeal against the transfer due to his university studies. Ngabo claimed that the stoppage of his salary following the transfer amounted to constructive dismissal, as he believed the respondent no longer intended to honor his employment contract. The respondent argued that Ngabo was involved in disciplinary issues and had deserted his duties by refusing to report to the new clinic. The judgment. The court ruled that Ngabo was not constructively dismissed. The judge found that Ngabo chose not to report to work after the transfer, which did not constitute a breach on the employer's part. The salary stoppage was deemed lawful as Ngabo was not providing any services to the respondent. The court only granted Ngabo prorated leave pay amounting to 64,653 Kenyan shillings and 33 cents, as the respondent did not produce proper leave records. His other claims for compensation, unpaid salary, and notice pay were dismissed. Key legal principles. Constructive dismissal is defined as an employer creating intolerable working conditions that leave the employee no choice but to resign. In this case, the court ruled that Bliss GVS Healthcare's actions did not meet this threshold. On matters compliance to the employment law, the respondent's decision to stop paying salary while Ngabo was not rendering services was aligned with the Employment Act, which stipulates that wages are only due for work done. Analysis and key insights. We learn about the importance of clear communication. HR should always respond promptly to employee appeals, especially when personal circumstances like education are involved. In this case, failure to respond to Ngabo's transfer appeal left him feeling unsupported, which may have escalated the situation. When transferring employees to remote areas, HR should ensure thorough communication, consider the employee's circumstances, and provide proper support. The respondent could have done more to engage with Ngabo and address his concerns. On the disciplinary process, the employer is deemed to have followed the right procedures by issuing show cause letters and scheduling disciplinary hearings. However, HR needs to ensure that employees are fully informed and given the opportunity to attend. Ensure that responses to employee appeals or grievances are documented to avoid legal complications. In this case, better handling of the transfer appeal could have mitigated the risk of a legal dispute. Always provide clear reasons for transfers or disciplinary actions. Even though Ngabo had disciplinary issues, the employer should have communicated these clearly to avoid confusion about the reasons behind the transfer. Key lessons for HR professionals. Lesson 1. Document everything. Human resources should maintain clear records of leave, disciplinary actions, and correspondence with employees to avoid complications in court. Lesson 2. Avoid assumptions about desertion. Before assuming an employee has deserted their position, ensure all communication channels are exhausted and clear warnings have been given. Conclusion. To recap, this case highlights the importance of clear communication and proper documentation in HR processes. Had the employer responded to Ngabo's appeal and provided better support during the transfer, this costly dispute may have been avoided. What do you think? Was the employer right in their actions, or could they have handled the situation better? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this case review insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more legal insights that help HR professionals, supervisors, managers, and even employees navigate tricky employment issues.